Right. Want to ask us anything? Dan Vane has asked, should we get Twitch as a shared sleeve sponsor? Sam?
Yeah,
Twitch.
As in the streaming service.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think we can go tackier than Twitch. Like, I don't know. We're probably not the right market for TikTok. We could maybe no, Discord's a bit niche. Yeah,
OnlyFans.
I was going to say
OnlyFans. Yeah. Like that kids cricket team in Southport, S&B, that was sponsored by a sex shop, like that sort of vibe. I think we should definitely, we should go worse than Angry Birds, and just keep trying to outdo ourselves. Yeah, OnlyFans, absolutely spot on.
Who have we got now?
We haven't got one. And some people who are into like the business side of footy are very annoyed about that.
Yeah,
right.
Because it matters.
Did you see the video last night, I think, from the Spurs game, of the lad who goes to kiss the badge on his shirt?
Yeah.
There's so many sponsors on there that he can't find where it is.
Oh God, that was so 2021.
Oh, horrific. Absolutely terrible.
I had no issue with Angry Birds.
No, I really liked it. I thought it was really, I just thought it was amusing. Like, people take shit too seriously.
Didn't Angry Birds die shortly afterwards? Isn't it like...
I didn't know they were dead.
I think it was the film that killed it, to be honest.
Okay.
Well, once Everton has touched you.
Exactly.
I mean, does anyone ever look... I mean, could you name a shirt sleeve sponsor for any team in the league?
Visit Rwanda.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Is that Arsenal?
Yeah. Did you see the presence of Rwanda going off his head on Twitter?
What was that?
He was going off his head, this is because he's a massive Arsenal fan. That's why they got the sponsor. Like, this is the team that's supposed to win and everything like that. It's not acceptable.
Aaron Ramsdale's the final straw.
Yeah. People won't want to visit Rwanda now.
I was thinking about it, but Arsenal is shit, so I'm not going to bother. I'm going to find somewhere with a World Heritage status instead. I think Big Red's got Western Union, haven't they? To just keep on with that money laundering.
The money laundering,
yeah. Matt Jones.
Oh, mate, Twitch is doing my head in.
I sounded like a voice reader then, didn't I?
Yeah, it's like you type the name into Word and it's the Les Roberts auto voice.
Do you remember when I used to do that on this?
Oh, yeah. Well, it started, didn't it, when I got loads of grief off the Reds once, and we just got Word to read it all out and
read out a load of tweets. Oh, that was good days then.
But Twitch just doing me. I didn't know. Like, I sort of saying to some of the shows this week, how does Ahmed Rodriguez get away with playing Call of Duty so much without getting grief?
I hope he's shit at it. I hope he's done like round 3 of zombies all the time.
Yeah, it's just annoying, isn't it? Like, I mean, to be fair, when I saw that quote from last night, it did laugh my head off.
I don't know who they're playing.
I think when he joined us, we all sort of said he's going to be like Watson Everton, and like we are at the point where it's come to it's like Watson Everton. Who are they even playing this weekend?
I mean, at this point, he's all of us, really, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's basically now what we are in February and March every single year. It's like, who are we even playing next? We're going to finish 10th. Who gives a shit? oh God.
What else have they got to do but stream, though? Like, I sort of find, I normally, not with him, but normally find it quite charming. Like, I love how Jofra Archer's really into his Fortnite. I find that adorable. Like, but, if you train in the morning, you've got the rest of your day. And unless you're a low-key revolutionary like Rashford or something, you're just going to game a lot, aren't you?
Yeah, I suppose that's fair. To be fair, it is something we all loved when he was like doing well, and when he was on it saying up the top, we were like, "Oh my God, this is amazing! He loves us." Talking about Everton on his Twitch, and now it's the worst thing ever because he's saying Watson Everton. Yeah,
now he's turned into the Lukaku on international duty, hasn't he? Every time.
I mean, I'm just excited to see what comes next because I've seen like a lot of people today saying, "Oh, he's using this tactically now to try and get a move," and make his position untenable and stuff like that. I mean, is it going to get worse every time, he goes on? Like, is he going to set an Everton shirt on fire tonight? Or I mean, it's Friday as well. He's not playing tomorrow. He's probably going to have a bevy like we all are.
Yeah.
What's he going to do after a couple of bottles of Echo Falls he's got left over from last season?
I love the fact that it's seriously considered that he could be using Twitch to engineer a move away from Everton. I'm sure there are more efficient ways to do it than that, really.
Given that he doesn't want to be there, the manager said he doesn't want him, and like there's just generally so much ill will that there's no future for him. I think subliminal messages are possibly superfluous at this stage.
Yeah, it's got a bit far now, hasn't it, really? Matt Blusk, what do you think of all this? Twitch sponsor, what do you reckon on the whole nonsense?
It's just a bit tawdry, isn't it? We just don't need it. We got enough bad shit going on that we don't need some knobhead just sitting there cashing his 200 grand a year, talking out of his ass on Twitch of all things. And the worst thing is, this could all be made up. This could all be like Keith Hazel stuff. None of us are on Twitch. We don't even know if he's actually saying this.
I was thinking that last night. All it takes is for one account to share it, and it's just all going to go.
Have we checked it's not one of Keith Hazel's burners?
It could be.
He's got a lot of them.
Could well be.
Our Twitter experience is so much worse without Keith. I really miss Keith.
I mean, can you believe we're going to play Newcastle at some point with Benitez as our manager, and he's not going to be on Twitter to enjoy it?
We're all just going to have to turn our accounts into moderately successful journalists
who love hedgehogs.
I think he has got a few burners, hasn't he?
Yeah, he will have.
Yeah.
But he'd really honed that one, hadn't he?
Yeah, oh yeah. It was perfect.
Yeah, he'd honed the split personality. Pretty perfect though. Yeah. It was when the main sports outlet in Russia was like sharing it as like a reputable source and stuff.
No, it wasn't a sports. It was Russia Today.
Jesus.
Russia Today said like people duped by notorious Twitter troll Chico Hazel.
I mean, to be honest, you'd retire anyway at that point, wouldn't you? It's like, I'm out, that's it.
I just don't know how you deal with like the notifications. Like, I'm sure you have this, Sam, as well, because you have loads of tweets which go like viral and there's thousands of people read. Do you just turn your phone off, or do you mute the notifications on it, or?
Oh, if I have one that bangs a bit, like I said, let's be honest, I don't have that many. But if I have one that bangs a bit, I usually just mute it. But yeah, the only one I properly had to mute was the one about Andrew Doyle, because that just got out of hand. Just because I was slagging him off, and suddenly I had a kind of incel army in my replies. But no, normally I just switch the replies off if it gets a bit much.
Yeah, I couldn't cope with that. I get moderate panic if the Blue Room have like tweeted something with sort of tagging me in it, and I wake up to like 10 notifications. Like, oh shit, what have I said now? And I was fine, it's all right. So if it was properly going off.
So when you tweet anything about Big Red and you go back onto your phone after a few minutes and it's notifications, it's 20 plus, you're like, for fuck's sake.
How much do you hover over that send button thinking, is it really worth it?
Yeah, the fat one is out and you've had it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just back to Dan's question. If we get Twitch as a share through sponsor, we should get Linny to play as number 10. I'm all in for that.
Yeah, 100%.
Joe has asked, what's the most exotic place you've seen Everton live or on TV? Also, I think this is just out to the wider audience. If anyone in Cologne wants to start an Everton fan group so we can watch Everton while on Hulls, that would be great. There's one, isn't there?
I love Cologne. One of the best cities I've ever been to.
Never been.
Absolutely boss place.
Have you watched Everton there?
No, we went there. It was like a carnival weekend, and honestly, God, I've never seen a whole city as committed to me like to getting on the aisle in fancy dress. It was insane. Like, we were there for 3 days, and we were like, "Oh, people wear fancy dress for this carnival, but we won't because we're lads." And we got there, and we felt like dickheads because we were literally the only people who didn't have fancy dress on. Like, it was, we had to just go for face paint in the end, and that did. That's all that was left in the shop.
Hot girl summer.
But it was great place. Loved it.
isn't it mad how they really know how to bevy, like to like till they're annihilated, but it very rarely spills over into everyone wanting to kick each other's heads in.
Yeah, it was good. We walked out of the hostel we were staying at, and across the road from us there was there was a girl squatted having a piss in the shop front, and it was like, it's going to be that sort of day.
Fair enough.
Set the tone.
Have you watched Everton anywhere? Sorry, Sam, go on.
When I've been to beer festivals in Germany, I think because they pace themselves, so the like it seems like you're not building to a crescendo. You just get in, like you just moderately piss for about 4 days. So it never. I think that's the reason it doesn't kick off. It's just the stability of the of the drunkenness. It's intense, but it's a marathon, not a sprint.
That was me last weekend, though. From 4 o'clock on Friday till I went to bed on Saturday night, I was just about 44% pissed the whole time.
How do you maintain that level?
Just 1 hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
it's very confusing though.
What time of day it was, or
just by the evening, I could tell that like my brain wasn't logging memories properly. But I wasn't like paralytic or nothing like that. I was just on the level. It's just like, this is really weird. This.
Can you remember everything?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
good.
Vaguely. There's no blacked out gaps.
You like getting a pad out and scribbling things down. Like, need to remember this. It's gonna sift through my memory tomorrow.
Do you know what? I do that on my phone on Samsung Notes. Honestly,
Really?
I actually do that. And I've woken up with receipts with like things scribbled on it because I was like, I need to remember this. Like, I need to remember this person or like that. And I was like,
that would be a great show. Just going through them.
Yeah.
Memento, Matt.
Yeah, I think mine would just be been a dickhead again. And again, oh, for God's sake. And I just wait for the text messages. Where are we? Oh, exotic place. Sorry, Sam, go on.
There's degrees of dickhead, though. You need to colour code it. Like if it's a green dickhead, you don't need to worry. But if it's a red, you should probably like throw your hard drive in the bin or something.
Or just take a header off the Runcorn Bridge or something.
Yeah.
I love the idea that you do something like that's like horrendously dickheadish, and then you just get your phone out and be like, red dickhead. It's like the anarchy to like just the calmness of being able to log it on your phone.
Because at that point you've committed, don't you? So you just jump head first into it and just enjoy the night.
Yeah. Not gonna like that in the morning. Shit. So Matt, have you seen Everton anywhere exotic? Or relatively exotic?
The maddest place I've watched them was, do you remember the Cenk Tosun Stoke game?
Yeah, I was there.
In the snow. I watched that on my phone in a bar in Guatemala.
Nice.
And that night, we met another couple. They were from Preston, and the lad was a big Evertonian. And we just sat there all night just talking about Cenk and how amazing he is. And he's going to fire us to glory next season and all this. It was absolutely just so surreal.
Yeah.
Didn't work
I mean, he was at that point, though. It was like he was for 45 minutes. Cenk was what Jelavic was for 6 months, basically.
Diminishing returns.
Well, you know. Sam, ever watched Everton anywhere exotic, live or on telly?
No, it's making me realise I've had a really tame life. Like, I've never watched Everton anywhere outside of Northern Europe. And even the places within Europe, it's like Belgium once, Edinburgh once. No, I just really have not.
To be fair, Belgium and Edinburgh is a good shout. Like,
yeah, I know it was pleasant and all that. Oh God, Belgium was. I was on a school trip, and I was following it, being text. It was, before you could watch it on your phone, and I was being text updates by my dad, and it was the one where he bottled giving the derby where he bottled giving the Hutchison goal at the end.
Oh yeah, Graham Poll.
Yeah, so that was yeah. So it was basically that was the next day was just going around sort of war cemeteries. So that was a mood. But I don't
I
know
have
if I
done a
could.
very similar school trip.
Yeah, I don't know if I
Yeah.
could say it was exotic or that I was watching it, but
How was that goal relayed by a text message? Was it like, fucking get in, bastard ref, something like that?
it wasn't even celebrated. It was just bastard ref.
Yeah. We all knew, I think, didn't we? As it was dropping in, we were all thinking, there's no way this is getting given. Something's got to go wrong here.
Yeah. What was it? Did he claim he'd blown for full time? Was it that?
Yeah. Unbelievable. Matt? Plus.
In terms of countries, nowhere really exotic because I don't think on any kind of. I'm similar to Sam. I've only really been around Northern Europe and then to Florida, but I don't remember watching the Blues then. But my own trips, I've always timed them around international breaks so I don't miss any Everton. And the only place I've seen Everton live out of the country was Italy, and that's not very exotic. But in terms of like exotic wildlife, I did watch the Newcastle game where Barkley scored his first goal at Goodison.
Yeah.
In the back room of a pub in Whitehaven. And that was an interesting experience.
When you said wildlife, I thought you were just like, I watched it like on the back of an elephant somewhere.
May as well have been. Honestly, it was like being on safari.
Some strange locals.
Yeah, well, pretty much all Newcastle fans, because even though it's on the other side of the country, you're in that sort of band at the top of the country where basically all the Geordies just go like that.
Yeah. So they still.
And yeah, so the first one, I was quite quiet. I was kind of leaning on the corner. Like, I was obviously the only blue there, and it was just all massive, burly Newcastle fans because it's a rugby town as well. So I'm there just like that leaning. So first goal goes in, I'm like, like that. By the second half, I've had about 4 pints, and I'm just like, oh, that's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for you. I'm sorry, lads. That's fucking embarrassing now. And I'm astonished I got out there alive, but I ended up staying up till about 2 o'clock, just drinking with the barmaid. So that was a good laugh.
Sounds a winner.
Yeah.
What about you, lads? Did you just turn into a pirate then for a second?
What's that?
You just turn into a pirate then for a second?
I watched Everton draw 0-0 with Man City in about 2003 in a pub in Sydney. So I think the game was on about 11 o'clock in the morning there, something like that. And yeah, it was so boring. Just sat. The whole of Sydney was at my disposal. I spent 2 hours in a dark pub watching Everton, and there was no one else in there watching it. So, I mean, that was probably about as exotic as it's been. I watched another Man City game, actually. Remember the one where Michael Richards scored an overhead kick to equalise?
The amazing backflip to celebrate.
Yeah. I watched that in a bar in Portugal. So, yeah.
I think if I went away now, I wouldn't bother watching us, really. I wouldn't, seek us out.
I probably would, you know. I'd think, I can't be arsed with this. And as the game ticked round a little bit closer to the 50 feet and think, yeah, I'm going to have to watch it. Probably. I don't know. It'd just be nice to do it, to be honest. Jack has asked, I'll come to you first, Matt Lusk. What films isn't the same unless watched at the cinema?
Quite a few here. It's obviously the big blockbusters, isn't it? The Nolans and Lord of the Rings. I don't think anything's ever going to compare to the first time I saw the third Lord of the Rings film and that bit where the Rohirrim charged down the Pelennor Fields. Seeing that in the cinema, I was just like, what am I watching here? Because I don't think I'd ever seen anything made like that up until that point. Probably not since either.
Yeah, it was outstanding at the time, all that, wasn't it? Still is, it still looks good, unlike the first Star Wars film. With the Microsoft backdrop fight scene.
Well, hang on a minute. I think you're being a bit unfair there. The first Star Wars film doesn't look that bad now.
What, the thingy? The Phantom Menace?
Oh, that's not the first Star Wars film, you knobhead.
I meant episode 1.
No, the first one's the first one's this 1977 one.
I know. I meant episode 1. Oh no, the first 3. Okay, the first 3, episodes 4, 5, and 6. They all hold up brilliantly.
Yeah, because you had to reinvent special effects to make them.
Yeah, but the Phantom Menace, God, it's a bad film. Apart from the lightsaber fight scene.
I got taken to see that on a date, not having seen any other Star Wars films and not particularly liking the cinema. So that was thoughtful.
fancy going on a date? Do you like Star Wars? No. Do you like the cinema? No. Well, we're going to watch Star Wars at the cinema.
Yeah, it's exactly that. I was just like, it just came out really baffled and slightly resentful. It was.
It's a long film as well.
Well, yeah, and it feels longer when you don't know what's going on and you can't ask because you're in a cinema. It's just...
Yeah, what's so special about this kid anyway? God, that kind of thing.
Like, I still don't know. I still haven't caught up. Like, I will watch the canon Star Wars at some point, but I'm the only person in the world who hasn't.
Stick with it. Stick to your guns. I do like them. Obviously, they are good. But if they're not for you, stick to your guns. Don't even go there.
Oh, like the problem's with me, not the films. But it's just never really happened for me.
Oh well. What film? Well, then just say you like the cinema as a one-off.
Say it like.
What film would you watch there?
Oh, what's it? I had never seen Terminator. And my partner took me to see Terminator in the cinema last year. And that was actually quite good on a big screen. But I didn't know the twist. So the whole time I was sat there going, oh my God, he's got such a bonk on for John Connor. It's so obvious. And I didn't know why that was weird. So when the twist came around, I was like, shit. That's weirder film than I thought it was.
Do you think you just really, really fancy John Connor or something? Or?
Yeah, I was just like, oh my God, he'd do anything for John Connor. He's like, obvious, like this is homoeroticism, but how we used to do it before we could say it out loud. And then there's this twist at the end. I was like, oh no, apparently I was incorrect.
I reckon your version's better, to be honest.
Got a bonk on for John Connor. That should be like the tag underneath the film on the trailer. The Terminator got a bonk on for John Connor.
I think that's the title of the pod anyway.
Yeah, I don't feel like he fancies her. I feel like, he's not like in any meaningful sense connecting with her emotionally, but he would do anything for this John Connor figure, whoever he is. So yeah, it's just really confusing. I'm sorry.
No,
confusing film.
Perspective on Terminator. Matt,
do you know what? I don't go to the cinema much, really, and I think like Sam speaking there. The thing, like, I don't get anxiety or anxious much about anything. But the thing that makes me more anxious or nervous than anything, and this is like totally irrational, is going into the cinema. And I'm sure like now you can do it all on like screens and pick your film and stuff. But nothing made me feel more cringe and more anxious than going up to the checkout and asking to go and see the film and having to say the name of the film. I just feel like, I'd be like, can I have one for the Terminator, please? Like that just even saying it just makes me feel like cringy and like, it's like nails on a chalkboard. Hate it. Okay. Is that really irrational?
That's quite irrational, or seems it to me.
It's very interesting.
You know, like when a film's got like a stupid name.
My dad went to see Indecent Proposal, and he asked for 2 tickets for Indecent Exposure. So it is a bit of a minefield, like.
I'm sure there's somebody out there that gets that is literally the only thing that makes me properly anxious. Right, yeah, and that's one of the reasons why we don't go, because I hate that moment. But
you just get her to ask.
No, she just might go in the cinema either. We lived in town for like 4 or 5 years. We never went to the Odeon down the road once. So, but yeah, I think Matt's probably right. The one that springs to mind, the one we did go and see relatively recently, was that Dunkirk one. Went to the cinema to see that, and it was like amazing. And then I watched it the other day when I got it. It was on BBC after I got home from the pub, a bit pissed, and watched it then, and it just wasn't the same.
Small ships look small.
Might be because I was bevied. Might be because it was on my telly instead. But that one. But yeah, cinemas make me a bit anxious.
I watched Inception bevied, and I only got about 45 minutes into it. I had to switch it off. But I honestly thought I'd had my drink spiked or something. It was horrific.
I feel like if you were bevied watching that, you could just lose interest. But if you were like high watching that, you'd be like, "This is fucking ridiculous."
Yeah, no, I was just bevied and it freaked me out. Went back to it and enjoyed it, but Christ, watching Star Wars Episode 4, the original one on the pictures was good. I think they re-released it in.
Yeah.
Old.
Re-release was it, Les? Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to work out what year it was when it would have been 25 years old, and I then realised it was the same year that I was 25, so it was 2002. Yeah, but they re-released it and it was dead good. It was amazing because none of them. I think the Phantom Menace had been out before, hadn't it? No, 1997 they did it. It was 20 years. Anyway,
yeah, the remastered version.
Yeah, it was 20 years. Yeah, because remember it was the first time any Star Wars stuff had been on. Great. Right, last question. Mark Mosey, most memorable opening day fixture. Jones.
Oh, it's got to be the 6-1 defeat against Arsenal, hasn't it? You know, that's a
shout.
I mean, talk about that had everything, didn't it? You know, a player on strike effectively, people losing the shit, you know, consolation goal at the end from Louis Sahar. Oh my God, that was just, yeah. If you want to have like a full Goodison Park experience, that is part of it. That's why I sort of love Saturday so much, because it was all of it, wasn't it? Like at half time we had the fume and the booze, and I was part of it myself. I'll say to my dad, like, fucking hell, if we get 40 points this season, you know, I'll take that right now. And then at the end, you have like the goals, you have the limbs, you have the atmosphere and all that. It was like the full Goodison Park package rolled into one, and we came out the other side of it. But that 6-1 Arsenal one, oh my God.
The opener was like a 30-yard screamer as well, wasn't it? It was
I
think,
was it Fabregas? And then did
Vermaelen.
Yeah, didn't Vermaelen score twice as well on his debut or something mad like that?
Yeah,
like, and like Lescott, like wasn't really a fault for any of the goals, but everyone was just losing the shit at him because like he wanted to leave. It was like, you fucking gobshite. Check it out on us. It's like, well, the issue is here that he's still our best defender. He's not really trying, and he's not really been a fault for any of the goals, and he's fucking off in a few weeks. So, just talk about meltdowns. It's unbelievable.
We did beat City away after that, though, didn't we? Because it was 2-0 and we spent fuck all.
Yeah, was that when
that's when Tim Kell got sent off, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
Was he?
No, I think so. That would have been. So he left after the cup final. Lescott, didn't he? That was 2009. Yeah, 2009-10. I think that was when we went to City and won with that black kit with the pink little stripes on. And Arteta scored when Kale stepped over the ball on the edge of the box. I think it was that one.
Yeah.
God, beating City, they were the days.
No. Used to
get beat 6-1 by Arsenal now, though. No. Is it Rwanda's back on?
They'll be doing offers on Monday morning, yeah.
Matt Lusk, memorable opening day fixture.
My immediate thought was the Arsenal one. I mean, let's not bore everyone by talking about the good ones, few as they've been, but I think the Blackburn one was pretty special.
Oh, God.
I thought Paul Ince was going to be a managerial genius, didn't he? Because that was his first game in charge.
Yeah. And then he was sacked in 6 months with the fans demanding the return of Graham Souness. They got some Allardyce.
You think you've got it bad as an Evertonian. Bloody hell.
Yeah. But, another memorable one, probably one that didn't even happen, which was Spurs.
Oh, yeah.
When the riots were on, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't the rearranged fixture of that the Jelavic game? Or am I making that up?
What one?
Oh, when he scored right at the end with his when he robbed that lad's hat. I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
No,
I think you might be right, actually, yeah. I think that was 2012, 2013.
It was 11.
Okay, maybe not.
Oh no, it wasn't that one because it was the away game. Of course it was, yeah. Tottenham. Yeah. Tottenham was the one that's rioting, wasn't it?
Yeah. We've had some belted away. Like that. Yeah. Didn't Jose Baxter make his debut in that game as well? He came off the bench, I think, didn't he? I'm sure he came off the bench, and then he started the next week. Yeah, he came off the bench and we lost, and he started the next week at West Brom away and we won 2-0. He scored in the fluorescent kit.
Fluorescent kit.
Yeah.
A couple of them, haven't we?
But yeah, that Spurs game was cancelled, so our first game of the season ended up being QPR at home, which obviously was a much nicer fixture to have.
We lost 1-0.
Zelovic's last game was QPR, wasn't it, in the cup? And he went for his hat-trick.
Oh, he dicked a penalty, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, poor love. I don't think anyone bore him any ill will at that point either. I think everyone was just really sad that whatever he had just evaporated.
You were the chosen one.
He was behind. Did Kone play at all? No, he was injured all season, wasn't he? Thankfully, we had Rom.
Oh God, yeah.
He was behind Naismith, wasn't he? At that point in the pecking order, when everyone hated Naismith at that point, so didn't really go well for him.
God.
I can't comprehend anyone disliking Naismith.
Everyone hated. Do you not remember? Everyone hated him at first, though, didn't they?
I'm kind of aware of that, but I've kind of eclipsed it from my memory because he's, I've just pretty devoted to him as a human being now. So.
It's when Moyes played him on the right wing, and everyone was like, "Who is this fella?" The injuries fucked him, and then eventually Martinez started getting a bit more out of him, didn't he?
Yeah.
How many players you can say that about, is there? Sam, what's your most memorable open day fixture?
Again, I was going to say the only one I can think that really comes to mind is Arsenal. We've not had many exciting ones, have we?
That's 10 years.
Have we not?
No, which is quite a stat.
Was it you in the pub, Les, after the game on Saturday saying that if we don't get beat against Leeds, it'll be 10 years since we've lost either of our first two opening fixtures?
I didn't know that one.
That doesn't seem right, but
a team that never gets off to a good start, that's a pretty good start we seem to get off to, isn't it?
It's because we do all right in the first two games, then the transfer window shuts. We sell our best player and don't replace.
One of the worst ones of them was, I think it was 93, 94. Yeah, it was, because the season we nearly went down. 3 games in, we were top of the league. And then Liverpool went to Swindon on the Sunday, beat them 5-1 or 5-0, I think it was. They went top, and then the two teams just went separate ways.
My first season, that as well.
It was magic.
That was I was introduced to Everton. This is just what Everton are. Your hopes get built up early, and then it's just a terrible shambles, which is a really good education. To be fair,
yeah. It's like life.
Yeah.
One of my first games I went to was opening day. It was when we signed John Collins. Everyone was really excited.
Oh, God.
And he missed a penalty against Aston Villa, and then Dwight York scored, and we got beat 1-0.
Of course. The penalty expert comes to Everton and misses a penalty. Hopes were really high before that season, weren't they?
Did we sign John Collins, Alec Cleland, didn't we, as well?
Ollie Decor and Marco Materazzi as well.
Decor was brilliant. He was genuinely really good.
I love Materazzi as well.
Free red cards.
It was amazing having Materazzi there, but Decor, I was I just really loved watching. He's a really beautiful watch. But yeah, we could have had more madness out of Materazzi. It's a shame we didn't.
Yeah, I remember the thing with Decor that the Echo could not ever get enough of. He's a lovely fella off the pitch, and they'd always show him a pair of glasses and his sort of non-match day kit, so just his normal clothes and a pair of glasses. Look at him, he even looks quite intellectual there. But then when he's on the pitch, he's a mad bastard. And always used to say that about him. That was the only line they had on him.
Do you remember his shot at Anfield? He scored. He scored after how many seconds was it?
30 seconds, wasn't it? Something.
Yeah, insane.
Was that the Michael Branch derby?
Yeah, I think
it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. I just remember that goal.
Well, we'll end on that note. Sort of a slight upper, but probably more of a downer, really. Tell you what, let's have a couple of score predictions for tomorrow. Sam, leads away. What are you saying?
2-2.
2-2. Shout. Take that. Matt Dusk.
Arse clenching 1-0.
Oh, come on, up the toughies. Matt Jones.
3-3. Let's go, Matt.
3-3.
I think the first 20 minutes are going to be utterly terrifying.
Oh, they will be.
Like, I think if they can get through that, they've got a good chance, in all seriousness. Like, they just ride out, because they are mental as it is, aren't they? Off the ball leads and the pressing and the way they play. Like, with that crowd behind them, they're going to be supercharged. So,
yeah,
get through that first 20. Fingers crossed. But we've got Moise Keane to bring off the bench as well now. So,
well, there you go. But will he look happy? That's the real. Will he look happy? Yeah,
there's more micro analysis of him on a photo coming out of the Finch farm, wasn't there, with a kid the other day? Like, oh, he doesn't look happy on that either. Fucking hell.
Amazing. Never change, Evertonians. Never change. I'm going to go with I think a 2-1. I'd say that. Really nice to ruin Leeds' sort of big party tomorrow, wouldn't it? Fantastic.
Yeah, I'll take a draw there.
Yeah, that'll do, definitely. Right, that's it for this week. Thanks to Sam. Thanks to Matt. Thanks to everyone who sent questions in. We'll catch you next time on Mailbag.